We now take up a new topic, returns to a factor. Before we explain, the first thing first, why study this topic at all? Remember, we are studying microeconomics, and in microeconomics, the main emphasis is on market. And within the market, the main emphasis is on price determination. And price determination is determined by forces of demand and supply. We have already studied the forces of demand, in which we studied two questions about the behavior of the consumer. One was related to consumer's equilibrium, and other was related to law of demand, that is reaction of consumer to change in price. From demand now we shift over to supply. In supply also we study two aspects of the behavior of a producer. How much a producer should produce so that he gets maximum profit. This is nothing but producer's equilibrium. So we have a topic called producer's equilibrium, which we will take up a little later. Then another aspect, law of supply. How much quantity a producer will be willing to supply at a given price, or if price changes, and why. Our main concern in this topic is to study one of the aspects of this supply side. Let us remember how much quantity a producer is willing to supply is determined by cost. अब आप कहेंगे साहब कॉस्ट से क्या ताल्लुक है? हर प्रोड्यूसर का पहला ऑब्जेक्टिव, पहला एम्फेसिस अपनी कॉस्ट को रिकवर करना. The producer determines the price at which he will be willing to sell is determined by the cost incurred by him. The minimum price at which he is willing to sell would be the cost of producing the commodity, because his immediate objective is to recover the cost. So how much producer will be willing to supply at what price is determined by cost. We have a separate topic, cost, which we will take up after this, after returns to a factor. So we are trying to link supply with the topics which we are going to study from now onwards. Now, cost in turn is determined by technology. What is the meaning of technology? Technology simply means method of production. Method of production means combination of inputs. How much labor, how much capital, how much raw material, and so many things. The moment you change this combination, technology changes. So technology here should be taken to mean method of production. The technical name for this technology in economics is production function. It's a mathematical name also. Production function means कि production किसका function है? Production inputs का function है. So you can call it input-output relation. What does a production function shows? A production function shows relation between, let us say, change in inputs and consequent change in output. That is the meaning of production function. Production function has two aspects, which we will take just now. With this little background, we now say something more about production function. We have just seen the meaning, the relation between input and output. Mathematically, it is represented like this. Q here means output, quantity of output produced. X refers to the commodity. Is the function of input 1, input 2, input n. That is how if there are 4 inputs, then n will be 4. If there are 10 inputs, the n will be 10, like that. This is a general form of production function. Note that in this function, we are only talking of physical inputs and physical output. यहाँ कहने का क्या मतलब है? यहाँ मैं वैल्यू की बात नहीं कर रहे. ये इनपुट कितने में आएंगी ये बात नहीं कर रहे. We are not talking about the price of input or the price of output. We are simply talking about